नमस्कार। नेपाल ट्रेड युनियन महासंघ जीफोनको प्रस्तुति श्रम संसारमा यहाँहरूलाई हार्दिक स्वागत गर्दछु। म स्मृति लामा। सदा चाहिँ आज हामीले अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय पाहुना निम्ताइसकेका छौँ। आजको हाम्रो अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय पाहुना बेल्जियमबाट हुनुहुन्छ। बेल्जियमको श्रम संसार र नेपाली श्रम संसार र हाम्रो एकैबद्धताको कुराहरू आजको यो एपिसोडमा हामी गर्नेछौँ। त्यसो हुँदा हामीले हाम्रा पाहुनालाई स्वागत गर्न चाहन्छौँ। नमस्ते। So first of all, a very warm welcome in the Wall of Work, that as the regular segment that we used to talk about the different part of the, as we are sharing the same wall but different parts. So that might be something different of the Wall of Work also. The practices might be different, and then whatever we have been organizing differently, and of course the long-term solidarity that we have with GIFON and SCB that we would like to discuss today with you. And we, on behalf of the GIFON entire team, we would like to thank you so much for your valuable time for this to our viewers, that they can understand what is the process all about the Wall of Work. So let me intro like that. So how was your visit, and how did you find the Wall of Work of Nepal, especially construction and then cement? And before that, would you like to introduce yourself and your organization to our viewers?
Yeah, okay, thank you for having us here in this special session, and very happy to be here in Nepal, of course. So I'm Patrick van den Bergen, and I'm president of my union, ACVB, and it's a building, so construction, industry and energy. So we are responsible for several sectors coming from the construction world, but also the building materials like the bricks, cement and glass industry. We have also the pillar of furniture, wood, forestry. Then we have also electricity and energy, paper and graphical workers. And then we have also fitness and hairdressers. So we are one of the biggest federations within the biggest union, ACV in Belgium. So ACV has 1.5 million members. So you can say that together with other unions, that more than 50% of people working in Belgium are in the union. Especially in the construction world, it's even more. Yeah. It's more than 90%, so it's really we are very happy with that. Yeah. More than 90% are in the union, and about 60% of the group that is in the union is in our federation. So we're very happy with that. But we have to work every day to keep that. So you can't get it for granted. So when you say how was it in Nepal, we have seen a lot of things that we have in common. For instance, that is how can you build your union? How can you go for more membership? This is a daily task for everybody. Also in Belgium is the same. We had the opportunity today to come also to your school, also your training center, and there were also issues like how can we have collective bargaining, how can we also have more joining into our union, have more paying members. So this is really topics that unifies us, that we can not only have the solidarity but also exchange how we can manage this. We were also in cement plants, and there we had a very good session with the people who are mandated, with the workers, and also with the management. That was also very interesting. And there we heard also the same problems of MNCs coming from other countries, coming from India, coming from China, but also the problem of social dumping, we may say. So migrant workers coming from abroad, from India, coming from Bangladesh. And we have the same problem in Europe, we have the same problem in Belgium, that people are coming from Eastern Europe, and the law is there, so there's no problem. The law is there that they have to be paid the same amount, but there is a lot of abuse in it. Even last summer we had people coming from the Philippines and from Bangladesh, even in Belgium, when they were paid only 20% of the normal wage. So people paid really a lot of money to come from the Philippines, for example, with tickets of 2,000, maybe 2,000 euro, and they were promised by really mafia, I will say it this way. They were promised you can come to Europe, to Belgium, and then you will have a big amount of money. You will be rich, and then you can really support your family. But they come in circumstances without any insurance, also with health problems, with security problems, and then underpaid. So we have a little bit the same. No, not a little bit. We have the same issues coming from migrant workers, and also how can we defend them, so that they have the same conditions, but also defend our people, so they can also have access to work. That's what I wanted to say. But maybe I talk too much.
No, it's really good to give the insight about the workers and then how they have been sharing. Wherever we are, the working class having some sort of the issues that we are sharing similar, just like a migration. You have been sharing that, as we have been long-term working with the migration, that we're gonna talk. So okay, while talking about the construction sectors in Belgium or the Nepal, as we are for the long time we were always in the informal as a construction. So now the policy allow us to be a formalizing. So now labor law is actually applicable for the informal sector too, like including construction. So what the practices in the have you seen? Because you have been the long term that we just know each other than having working together. So how did you find that the way, or anything that you can just suggest or something, how the practices you have just seen in Belgium, or if you have to compare Nepal and Belgium?
Well, I said it a few times already here, also to your shop stewards, to people who are mandated. It's not only how can we join the union, because joining the union is very important for everybody in every country, but especially also here in Nepal, because power is linked to it. And that's always my story. You have to be with a lot of people. You have to have more people in the union of GFOND, CUPEC, WIN, that are joining, because that is the voice of the people. And when you want to change informal work towards formal work, and that was your question, you can't force it by yourself. You can't force it with 20, 50, 100,000 members. You have to have more members. You have to have a lot of power also into the government. So the link to the government is very important. Maybe you have to organize rallies. Maybe you have to organize strikes. I don't know. There are a lot of possibilities. Maybe also to have the management of your factories, of your construction sites with you, to say it's always important also for you. Because for the employers, it's always necessary to have a level playing field. Because when everything is in the informal sector, you always will find somebody who will do it for less money. So when you have a formal world and formal world, it's the same game you are in, also for the employers. So for employers who have a little bit of a social mind, it can be interesting that every other concurrent competitor has the same values and the same costs. It's not only the values, it's also the costs of manpower. So that's why we have to have a good and really powerful union, and you are really very good. So I must underline that here in Nepal you are already very far. There are a lot of examples that I say I take it to Belgium, because you are already further on the way than we are. So that is why, together with government and that power, you can change it. But also with the employers, that it's not to attack them, but it's also in their, it's also an advantage for them. So this will take time,
Yeah.
of course. You can't say, oh, now we have the idea and tomorrow it will be like that. You have also to have elections, not only also the political elections, not only the elections on the enterprise side, on the factory side, on the construction wharf, but also the political elections are very important. That we have politicians who have the same ideas, so that they can restore, and also have good law, also to have good labor inspections, that all what we are having in collective bargaining and negotiating, that they can put it into law, so that it's mandatory. And when it's mandatory, there you have inspections that can help us to have a world where everything is very formal and everything is in the book and everybody has to follow it. And that is the best world for us as union people, for our workers, for our members, and then we can negotiate where possibilities are on the social economical situation, that maybe also better wages, higher wages on the company level are possible. But step by step, like you said, and that's a question of having strong unions, strong political supporters, so that we can go to a formal world in the construction world.
Thank you so much. As actually, I was just looking for that. You are just very strong in negotiation and all. So we are just trying our best to utilize all the formal things from the informal. So these insightful or this sharing will be really enrich us. And then, of course, now it's going to be a social contribution-based social security also going to be applicable for the construction workers. So your part of the world, the good practices always enhancing us to work more, and then having the good example from one place to another place is always important for us. And thank you for this that we have been talking. And just before jumping in the migration section, that's during this period was a very tough crisis we are having, like COVID, then after this the war and all. So how is the affecting how have you seen the wall of work? What are the challenges that we need to, especially the construction and our field, what are the challenges you are looking for the the future that we need to tackle on during this after just post-COVID is also still tough for us, and how is the situation in your part of the world?
So not only the COVID situation, I think you also have to mention Ukraine problem. So that's one of the big problems, that we have two dramas, two conflicts at the same time. So I think on an economical level that nearly every part of the world has the same difficulties. My personal view, because you say how you see it for our future, is that we have a good taxation, right? Because everything begins over there, and there are still there's still money in the world. When you see of the oil crisis now and the gas crisis, that the big oil companies and electricity companies make really $billion profit. So that is not correct. So I don't have a problem with profit, but they can make a profit, but they have to share it. They have to share it with the people, not only with the stock, with the persons the people who have the stocks in hands, but also with the workers, but also with the community. And there we are in a world community. So that's the only way to have a better world. That is that. There is investment in every part of the world, and that it doesn't like China is a very good example how it's possible to have a technology and economical wonder, to have it really in advance. But the problem is that they take advantages of other people, of other countries. So instead of to say now we will share it, and every country has his investment, so that they have also benefits for the local people, that's what I'm missing in this story. So I think it would be very nice that every country has his investments, can have also a better standard living, because that's important economically in capitalism, but we are also making profit of capitalism, that everything is going up. So when people have more power to buy things, it's good also. That's really a circle. It's always good for those who are entrepreneurs, management, and investors, so that they can buy also the products. So I think this is really an issue that fiscality, so everything has to do with taxation, is really very important, because governments can have an important role in it, and they, with really the big money makers, they can say we take a certain percentage of it, and that they can invest it at the same time also in countries who has to develop more, like for instance, I may say it, like for instance also Nepal. And when this is the case, people will have more possibilities in the labor market to go to decent work. And that's why that the circle will turn also to have more consumption. When you have more consumption, there's more profit, and there is also more higher standards of living. So those cases, like you mentioned, COVID was a problem in this, but I think that the Ukraine war is even worse, because this is really an image of how the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. That's the same in Belgium. So in Belgium we have a level of poorness. And let us say that was about 10% who was under the level, poverty line. Now it's already 15%. So it's really getting worse, because people can't pay anymore their heating, but can't their apartment that they are hiring and everything. So this is really a global problem.
Yeah, true. Because it's like now globally, it's like a global village, we just say. So one part of the problem can affect another part of the world. We are also having some sort of the crisis facing because of the war, and then COVID, this all. So as you said about the cycle of that, how it should go, it's really important that thing that we need to think as a part of trade union, because that is hampering our workers. That means the hundreds of the families are just involved on that. So thank you for this insight. And of course, that is the very major part I would like to share, that about a decade long
now we are beginning.
Yes, about a decade long we just work on the migration. So I always feel quite proud that to announce that how we have been working. It was a really good journey. The country like Qatar, that we have started something, working on something, change also have been seen. So for us I'm just saying, so it's really important for. So how have you seen that the overall migration cycle that we work together? How did you find that one?
I think you already said it. We have to be proud. We are proud. This is a very good example, a good practice, how it can work. So it's already something like 8-9 years. It's already a long time, nearly 10 maybe. So that's our organization, your organization, GFund, CUPEC and ACVB found each other. We were, I think we may say it, one of the first to go on the site, and so they were building this stadium for the football championship, and the circumstances were really very bad. So this is really some years before The Guardian.
True, very. 2010.
Everybody says, also ILO says, thank you, Guardian, now I opened. And then the FIFA came and said, no, The Guardian is not correct. They are exaggerating it. Infantino said, no, it's not true. Maybe one or two, but they were already sick. There were no Nepalese, there were just sick people who came to the construction world and collapsed. That happens with humans. So it was no problem at all. Before The Guardian, we were already on the site. So we were there together to see the circumstances. And we knew, we
Situation.
saw what happened. That is people who were really suffering of the heat, because it's not normal that you have to work in conditions of 35, 40
45
degrees,
somewhere, yeah.
45 even, and we can't talk about summertime, it's always
It's,
very hot
yeah,
over
very
there.
hot, yeah.
Also, injuries,
Yeah.
a lot of problems with
Accidents,
security,
very true.
accidents, a lot of working times, so very bad conditions to sleep, to live in. Even food
Yeah,
was a
of
problem.
course.
The kafala system, they take your Nepalese passport and then you have to work under conditions who are not human and not paid well, or even not paid at all.
True.
So people coming from Kathmandu or coming from Nepal, who were said, now you will have a very good, decent life.
True.
You will be paid a lot and you can support your family back into Nepal, but the truth was really very different. And that's why I'm also very proud that we could put this on the international agenda. So everybody followed after this, and so ILO followed, the BWI followed, the world followed also, and thank you to the Guardian, and also football federations like our football federation also, and there were different, the Dutch, the Scandinavians, who said, oh, this is not normal, and who said to UEFA, we have to react to FIFA because this is not normal, the social conditions, how they are building up the stadium.
Yeah.
So it changed also what the Arabic world was thinking about slaves. Excuse me for the words now, migrant workers, but they saw it as their slaves. So they changed for a bit. So they had the minimum wage, okay. Working conditions were better then. So also the kafala system collapsed. But we know today that it's still very hard to work as migrant worker.
Part of implementation is another we need a challenge.
So it doesn't stop with the championship who were in the end of last year. So it doesn't end there, and they did a lot of window washing, greenwashing, everything you want to be. We are the best in the world. Qatar is the best place to be in. Also very social. But I have a lot of questions. How does it work in practice? So we have to keep on doing our job. So that is to talk to the migrant workers, not only in Qatar, but in the whole Arabic world, but also in other parts of the world, that we know what they are having as working conditions, where the kafala system still exists, for example, so we can cooperate together, that we can also push these issues and abuses. Also by our European Federation, but also the European governments, that it's really hard, we know that, but it has to change. This has really to stop. And again, very happy that we could do something and that things were better, but I'm not satisfied yet. I think we have a lot of work yet.
Yes, I agree totally that the solidarity can make the difference that the example of Qatar gave us. But still the implementation part we need to work hard. Making policy is one hard nut to crack. But again, the implementation is another part that we need to work. So on behalf of GFON and entire Nepali migrant workers in Qatar, we really would like to thank you for we really valued this cooperation, that we could do it for the long, around the decades. Then it was really nice working together, and we happy whatever the achievement we share, and we are ready to overcome some other challenges also, whatever in the ground. So on behalf of again entire GFON, I would like to thank you for this. And at the end, we are now end of our conversation. Once again, thank you for your valuable time, and if you have any message to our viewers, that's very short one, then please.
Oh, it's very easy. Unions are needed, so you have to be in the union, you have to a part of the union, because we are the only power, the power of the workers together, that can change the world, and we have different examples of this, that it's really working with good and strong unions. It is also very, very clear also on academically it's proven that in the countries that you have unions, you have also more welfare. So why not? So join the union and have the same struggle that we have on the global level. And I will end in the Belgian way. So I will take off my hat for GFOND. Congratulations.
Okay, thank you so much. It was really
Thank you.
pleased. Thank you so much for this valuable
Yes,
time,
thank you.
President. Yeah, thank you.